situation. I understand my situation a lot. I respect my boxing, my sport. I know this is very important for me. Every fight is very important. Not last time, not last fight, not 2 fights ago. Like every fight, like every step is very important. Like right now, I understand it's a unification fight.
Stepping of magnitude of the fight, is there more? I don't know if the word is pressure, but there's more interest to make sure that you win, because the winner of Canelo certainly.
Absolutely. Just all of them, just a little bit pressure because like I understand next step is much better. The next step is more popular. It doesn't matter who wins. I respect both Miguel and Canelo. Next step is much better. I think everybody who is normal guy can understand it. Have pressure.
So you've been calling out Cotto, but suppose it's Canelo. Either one.
I don't know. Right now, for me, 50-50.
Gennady, how do you explain your popularity all over the country? If you fight in California, if you fight in New York, if you were to fight any state, you would sell out the entire house. How do you explain that rise in popularity?
First of all, thank you to my team. Thank you, like my promotions. Thank you, God. And thanks to fans, because fans understand boxing. Just my style. Thank you to coach, my style. People love my style. It doesn't matter. East Coast, West Coast, all works. I had a couple fights in Europe, like Monaco, like Germany, like Ukraine. Everybody loves my style.
What's your reaction to Cotto Canelo fighting at a catchweight at 155? Are you surprised when you saw that?
This is his story, like story to Canelo or to Cotto. My story 160. Right now, Miguel, he's champion 160. It doesn't matter. I want WBC. I need WBC.
If you fight Cotto, would you make sure that fight is at 160 or?
He's the mandatory for the winner of Cotto Canelo. Actually, the winner of Lemeiux and Gennady's fight is the mandatory for that fight. So whatever negotiations there are, I know they asked Sergio to come to 159. This one's at 155, but it's for the middleweight championship, so that fight would be on that.
I like
160. Yeah.
I like old school. I like who is number one, who is best in the middleweight in the world. Not business. Business is second. Who's best 160.
Gennady, after the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, a lot of fans felt unfulfilled. The fight was pretty boring. You're one of the most exciting guys in boxing, if not the most exciting guy. Does that put pressure on you to entertain the fans and kind of hold the sport on your shoulders right now as the most exciting guy?
Not a lot, not too much. I don't have pressure. My style a little bit different.
Very different, I'd say.
Yeah, very different. I don't like dancing. I like fight. Like true story. I'm true story.
So in the Willie Monroe fight, even Max Kellerman at ringside said that it's possible you were allowing him to hit you. You were showing vulnerability. Is that true? Were you letting him hit you?
Like 50-50. I have time. It's my practice. No, I respect Willie. He is a good fighter. He's not scary. He's from me, and it's very interesting. It's good experience.
Gennady, what does it feel like to you now to finally have somebody, a big, high-profile opponent, say yes? For a guy like you who's been coming up through the ranks for a while now, and you develop this reputation. Like some people think you're like the boogeyman that hides underneath beds or something like that. That with the way that people have avoided you on your way up. How did it feel like to finally get that phone call and have Tom and these guys say that somebody was willing to step up to the table and fight you?
I feel good because I feel my time. Just thanks to promotions. Like good work, good job. Golden Boy, K2, his support. I'm ready. I want unification fight. I need unification fight. My goal is all the belts in middleweight division.
We've been trying to unify. His goal and priority is to unify all the titles in the middleweight division. And since he won the WBA title in 2010, we've been trying to get another champion to fight him. And so we have to give David Lemeiux and Golden Boy and their whole team a lot of credit for accepting the challenge, especially since he just won the IBF title. But You see how the fans have reacted, both in Los Angeles with the ticket sales and now bringing this type of a fight with him fighting another champion. I mean, we broke the records for the pre-sale for any MSG boxing event, and now I think Joel will announce the exact number, but we're over 15,000 tickets now. And this, I think anyone at MSG will tell you this event will sell out. And the fans react to putting on a quality product, priced the tickets reasonably. We have a great co-feature. Chocolatito's going to fight. He had a great reaction at the Forum, and the fans just appreciate Gennady's style wherever he fights. If it's New York, if it's in LA, if it's internationally, he brings the excitement in the ring, but you see his demeanor outside the ring, and that's what the fans really appreciate is his humbleness and respectfulness outside.
Making this fight on pay-per-view, was that an easy decision to make? Was it because it was Lemieux? That's where it was going to be.
Once Lemieux won, or whoever won that title between Lemieux and Ndam, that was really the focus to go after. Cotto made it clear that he didn't want to fight Gennady next, he wanted to fight Canelo. So the WBC allowed that with the condition the winner of that fight has to fight the winner of Gennady. So that put the focus on Lemieux as the IBF champion. At first, they weren't 100% sure if they were going to fight Gennady. Once they committed, I told HBO, we made the deal in 1 week with Golden Boy, and so we have to give them a lot of credit. And everything worked out. I think Lemieux will probably be the highest paid middleweight champion to make his first title defense. So we have to give Golden Boy a lot of credit for putting him in that position. And both fighters, it's their biggest fights, their biggest paydays, and the winner is going to clearly be the best in the middleweight division.
But to have it off HBO and on pay-per-view,
that's the only way we can make it work financially. Yeah, I mean, HBO has given him great support. He's fought on HBO 8 times before, but to make the finances work, to convince Lemieux to take the fight, it had to be on pay-per-view. And we have to also give the Garden, where's our Garden? We have to give the Garden a lot of credit because they put together a very strong offer to have Gennady come back here to New York. So without their financial support and without the support of the pay-per-view, it wouldn't have been able to take place.
Tom, do you think going forward that Gennady's a pay-per-view fighter, no matter who he fights?
I think it depends on the opponent. Certainly, we understand, being on pay-per-view will reach a bigger audience. But if it's a big fight like this, then there's no reason why it wouldn't be on front.
Gennady, break down the middleweight division a little bit right now. There are 2 huge fights coming up, 2 exciting fights. There's a lot of hype around the middleweight division again with this fight and the Cotto fight. What are your thoughts on the division overall?
No, yeah, you're right. A very easy situation in middleweight division. Just 3, maybe 4. Every fight is in middleweight division. It's very interesting.
And Andy Lee fights a week before his fight now, so that's the other champion for the division.
Who do you expect to win against Cotto, Canelo? Who do you think will be the last one standing? That fight?
I don't know. This for me 50-50.
Can I follow up on something that you mentioned before quickly? You mentioned that your personality outside the ring after the fight, you're always smiling, you're happy, you look like the kind of guy that you'd love to sit down and have a conversation with. Then that bell rings and you turn into something completely different. How do you mentally make that leap from the happy, affable Gennady Golovkin to the guy who the bell rings and my job is now to take this guy's head off? How do you make that jump mentally? How does it change for you?
First of all, thanks to my parents, to my genetics. I'm a big different guy. Inside, outside. Outside, I'm a regular man. Inside, I'm a profi boxer.
It's not only when the bell rings. Abel will tell you, fight night, when he gets in the locker room, then the demeanor changes. He becomes serious, and that's what he says. He keeps saying it's a serious business. It's not a game. It's a sport, but it's a serious business for him. And he understands you could get injured in the ring, and so that's where the whole demeanor changes. And when Abel's wrapping his hands, you can tell his whole focus is on that fight and in the ring and what he has to do.
Did it surprise you that Lemieux took this fight? A lot of people were saying he's 26 years old. He could season himself a little bit more, maybe get more leverage, get more money. Did it surprise you when Lemieux took the fight?
Oh, he is a strong guy. I know he has a good team. He's a strong team. It's a good promotion. It's a good deal for us.
And Abel has said he doesn't think it's going past 4 rounds because of the style of Lemieux. Lemieux, he believes, is going to bring it. Do you feel the same way? Or did you not say that one?
I did say that.
Yeah.
I said that because I think it's a throwback fight to Hagler and Hearns. So it's going to be 3-4 rounds, and whoever lands the best shot. Obviously, I have to be confident in what my guy's going to do. But the 3 or 4 rounds, it could go either way. I mean, they're both big hitters, and it's that kind of fight. So that's why I say 3 or 4 rounds.
3 or 4 rounds, it could go either way.
No, for me, just longer, second half.
The second half.
Yeah,
Do you believe that the fight is going to go the distance?
probably. Why not? Yeah, this is boxing.
It's going to go 12 rounds.
Yeah, this is boxing too.
All right.
Tom, there are other pay-per-view fights. You have Floyd is fighting pay-per-view. Canelo, Mosley has a pay-per-view. This will be on pay-per-view. You could just say, why should fans spend their money on this fight as opposed to, I guess all the fights that are going to be on pay-per-view?
I think similar to reflecting on the ticket sales is it's going to be a lot of quality entertainment for a reasonable price. Tammy Ross from HBO will announce the official price, but I think the fans will see the value in how we've priced this event and the quality of fights that we're putting on. We have Chocolatito as a co-feature, Golden Boy's putting on 2 great fights, be 4 fights on the pay-per-view, and then having a main event like this. It's going to be a lot of action guaranteed, and that's what I think the fans will appreciate.
Gennady, you mentioned today that the WC belt, that's what you're looking for. David's a very tough fighter. How do you stay focused? Take us into your mind. How do you stay focused on just this one opponent in front of you?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, right now I have double syndrome, and David, he's very dangerous guy. Of course, my focus on David right now. I don't have like motivation. It's very interesting. This boxing is serious business. It's business. My motivation is my career, my next step.
If Cotto beats Canelo, do you expect that he'll fight you? Because he clearly hasn't wanted to so far.
I don't know. Ask him. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Tom, if obviously you guys might be expecting to sell out, and if the pay-per-view numbers do good, do you think financially that'll be something enticing for Cotto, being that he's never really said yeah to you guys?
Well, the good thing about Gennady is he doesn't care where he fights. I know with the Cotto Canelo fight, they were looking for the right venue, the color of the canvas, whatever they were negotiating. It took them a long time to make their deal. With Gennady, if Cotto wins, it's a natural to fight here at the Garden. It couldn't be a bigger fight than Gennady and Cotto. If Canelo wins and he wants to fight in Texas, Dallas Stadium, or in the Alamo Dome, we'll go to Texas to fight. So that's why it's easy on our side to make the deals. Even when we were talking to Chavez last year with Bob in Top Rank, we shifted that whole thing to favor Chavez on the financial side just to get him to get in the ring. I mean, we realized we can't force guys to get in the ring. We couldn't force Cotto to get in the ring with him this time, but his focus isn't on Cotto or Canelo. His focus is on unifying all the belts. And if they don't want to fight him and the WBC makes him the official champion, that's great. If not, then whoever wins between his fight and then the Cotto Canelo fight, it's going to be a mega event. And for next year, that's a huge event.
Would you come down in weight if Cotto or Canelo said they would fight you, but at 55, 56, 57?
No, my focus on 160. He's champion. The WBC champion is 160.
Him and Abel both got on record. The only fighter he'll go down in weight to 154 pounds is against Floyd because he's got 2 belts at 154. Other than that, he's the middleweight champion. If they're a middleweight champion, it's a unification fight, it would be at 160 pounds.
Tom, did you ever get an official word from Al Heyman or any of his lieutenants on fighting Mayweather? What the answer was?
Not for the September fight. That wasn't very realistic on their side. But you never know. If Floyd retires, then Froch apparently retired. If Floyd retires, I mean, Gennady's going to become the #1 guy. If he beats Lemieux and then fights the winner of Cotto Canelo, he's going to be the #1 fighter in the sport. If Floyd continues to fight, he's not calling out Floyd. It's always like if someone asks,
right, we ask him about it.
Would you fight Floyd? I said, sure. He would go down to 154 out of respect to Floyd and what he's accomplished. He would go down to 154 where he has 2 titles.
Have you had any discussion with them in which they've said, yeah, we might do it?
No, not officially. No.
Gennady, you mentioned that in your last fight that you allowed Monroe to land punches against you to allow the fight to go longer. Why were you doing that? Was there any point to that? Or?
He's a good boxer. Yes, respect to my, it's not wrestling, respect to my fans. Yes. Praxis. It's boxing.
My take on that is because Rubio only went 2 rounds in Los Angeles, and Gennady wanted to give the fans a little bit. I mean, certainly he's not taking anything against Willie Monroe. Willie Monroe is a great fighter. I think a lot of people underestimated him. He won the Boxino tournament. He beat a lot of good fighters, and coming up. But I don't think Gennady pressed it like if he could have after he knocked him down.
I don't lose control at all. This is my fight.
And I think you have to note too, it's not that he allowed Willie to punch him. And he just lost a little focus. He just allowed the fight to go on, but it's not that he put his head out there for him to be hit. He just wanted to experience a little more, but it wasn't that he allowed. Willie was a very good fighter, and obviously a very good fighter is going to land some punches.
Gennady, David is 26 years old. Canelo's 25. Cotto has kind of said he's looking to wind down his career. Is there a sense of urgency for you because you are 33 years old? Do you feel it?
I don't feel it. I feel like 52.
He looks 22.
It's amazing time. It's amazing time. Like 25, 26, it's great time for boxing.
There were some people that said that you allowed Monroe to kind of stay in the fight to show that Gennady had some weaknesses, and maybe to think that other people would have a chance against him in the future by allowing Monroe to hit him.
I don't think it went that deep. I think that when you're in the ring like that, he's not trying to show weaknesses. What he's trying to do is give his fans, like you said, he respects his fans, trying to give them a little bit more of a show, having not somebody quit or like some people thought that Rubio quit. Having Willie have some moments so that way it excites the crowd and just is for a good show.
Tom, you said that a lot of guys have been ducking Gennady, but Andre Ward is the one guy that keeps saying on record he wants to fight. Is that going to happen, you think, at some point?
Well, it's one thing to say you're going to fight. It's another thing, with his attorney apparently wrote a letter to HBO when he had the Rubio fight saying he would fight him, but what does that mean? He'd fight him for what? I mean, he's fighting at 172. We don't know if he's going to fight at 168 again. And right now, Gennady's focus has been to unify all the belts. Now we've gotten another champion to fight him. Now he's guaranteed to get the winner of Cotto Canelo. So Andre Ward's really not a discussion. And to go, Mike, to answer your question on Floyd, there's been no discussions officially with the Rock Nation people either. So it's just not a realistic fight at this point. If at some point in the future, then maybe if he unifies all the titles, maybe it might make sense. And people asked, probably your next question, why would he fight Froch at 168? Carl Froch in his last fight had 80,000 people in Wembley Stadium, brings a lot of UK pay-per-view money. And it's no disrespect to Andre. Andre's a great fighter, a great boxer. We all have respect for what he's accomplished in the ring. But just like he would go down to 154 to fight Floyd, it doesn't make sense at this point when he can unify the middleweight division, and then maybe there's a discussion. If Andre, gets kind of back in the swing of things, his last fight was on BET, it's just... Once he's back to where he was with the Super 6 tournament, then that becomes a great fight.
But Andre keeps fighting, and he starts fighting, becoming active, and he becomes more realistic with his demands. I know you're not going to give him 50 at this point.
But there's no demands. We haven't had any discussions. That's what people, it kind of got really blown out. Dan Raphael wrote this article about it has to be 164 and this is what we demand. There's no demands from our side. There's really no discussions at our side. There's no guarantee that Andre's still going to fight at 168. Fought at 172, that's 3 pounds away. There's a lot of discussions about him fighting Kovalev now at 175. And that's a great fight too. Kovalev, used to train with Abel, and he's a great champion at 175 pounds. And that's a big fight on HBO. That might even be a pay-per-view fight. So once there might be some realistic conversations and there's something to talk about, but as of now, it's not a topic to discuss.
Gennady, who do you see with the Canelo and Cotto fight winning?
Who better? Cotto or Canelo? I don't know. I'm supposed to know. I'm athlete. For me, 50-50. It's true.
Abel and Gennady, being that David Lemeiux is known for being a puncher, is he going to be more focused on defense to concentrate on what's coming back this time?
If you go back and look at the fights that are on record on CompuBox, you'll find that Gennady is among the top 3 or 4 defensively, even better than Cotto. Better than Canelo. Now, saying that, his style, his pleasing style, fan-pleasing style, puts him out in front to catch 1 or 2 shots. They look dramatic, the Gil punch, but he's among the leaders, like I said, in the defensive prowess as far as the percentages are concerned to connect in throwing ratios. So No, the important thing is to make sure that Gennady does what Gennady does best. And the reason that we're here talking and the reason he's fighting David Lemeiux is because both guys are going to go out and give the fans what they want to see. And that's a fight. To answer your question more directly, yes, there's going to be some emphasis, but we emphasis every fight. Every fight we have emphasis on defense and on offense. But he's going to give the fans what they want to see, so that this record-setting ticket sales he legitimizes that.
But there has, I mean, that all sounds good. Give the fans what they want to see, but it's almost sounding like these two guys are going to just rush at each other and try to beat the other's brains out. Well, is your guy more of a technician? Is he a little bit more of a overall better boxer than the other guy, and therefore that might be his advantage?
What you have seen in the past, on HBO, is a Gennady that goes out and searches. He's a stalker. He's going to go out and search to see what he's got in front of him, and once he figures out what he has in front of him, it all depends on what he feels like doing. With Monroe, obviously he let him off the hook. With David, maybe he has a little more of a sense that maybe I can't let this guy off the hook. Maybe I got to get him out of it. And this being the kind of show that it's turned out to be as far as sales and as far as the promotion, it may be best to go out there and be a Hagler-Hearns fight. Why? Because that's what the fans are expecting. And that's what he wants to provide. To him, what's his favorite saying? I want a drama show.
Drama show.
He wants the drama show.
Has he had his chin tested? Remind me. It might have been slipping my mind. When has he had his chin tested?
Curtis touched him with a couple shots. But, it doesn't matter how great a chin he has. It doesn't matter. The only one that I can recall that he could hit with a bat was Randall Tex Cobb. But everybody that he gets hit with a good shot from a good fighter at this level is going to get hurt. It just depends on how you react from it. Your conditioning, your history in fights, as far as what you've experienced. So anybody can get hurt. It doesn't matter who you are.
Does Lemieux have more pop than Curtis? Is he the most powerful puncher on paper that he's been in with yet?
In my opinion, Curtis was a harder puncher.
Okay.
Curtis was a harder puncher because he's a snappy puncher. I think David is more of a George Foreman kind of thudding kind of puncher. You have to be standing in front of him with your hands down for David to hurt you. But Curtis was very sharp and very quick. So to me, Curtis was a bigger puncher.